Biggity bushy, 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 bush, bushy, bushy, bush. Hey, it's the Sunday service, baby. I'm off key and I don't care.
Hey, you are, yeah.
We are here to rock and roll and crack 'em if we got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em.
Can I go ad? Can I go ad?
Yeah, you're
Ad,
on
can I
three
go?
now, you're
Crack
on
'em
three
if you got 'em, son.
All right, now I'll do mine.
Hey, AJ, you go.
Hang on, just killing
Oh,
it.
you
There
guys
we
suck,
go.
dude.
Well, I thought Ad was going to let me
Crack
go.
'em if
Crack
you
'em.
got
No,
'em.
he was saying to go first, and I was not going to let you go first.
Yeah, because it threw me off. I was feeling the music. I was listening to your lyrics that you'd made up for the Sunday service, and then you just booshed the crack 'em.
Sometimes you just
Say-
got to boosh him if
say
you
you
goosh
want to
him.
get your crack 'em on.
I just want to get my crack 'em on, you know?
Before we went on air, Ad was saying, "Okay, we got to get all your cracks," and we're like,
I want all your cracks.
"We want all the cracks from all of you fellas right now." And did you get all three though?
Got it, dog.
So that's a good way to start off this Sunday service. Hey guys, another thing. It's a long weekend for us right now. Canada Day
That's
tomorrow. So this is a very freely loose feeling Sunday service because you don't have that tension. You don't have the Sunday night blues to say.
No Sunday night blues.
No Sunday night blues. So we can enjoy these afternoon crackums and not have any pressure about having to be up tomorrow to do anything.
Yeah.
Except celebrate Canada.
We got boots on the ground in the chat right
Baji
now. Actually, as he's saying, can't wait for training camp, and I know we're going to talk about the dates and times. But let's say theoretically, training camp with Bot G happens again. What about running fans and foes live with Anthony and Bot G when we're down in Oxnard? And you do a training camp campaign, and since the next day would be the Rams, if we do, let's say, do it on a Wednesday when there's no camp,
Yep.
the next day is the Rams, so you could kind of have it around the LA Rams coming to training camp, and we can foreshadow some
I'm
stuff.
feeling like Matthew Stafford's going to be the final boss in that sesh.
I'm back.
I'm back.
It's me, Matthew, throwing darts.
Staff, it's the staff.
I'm better than Dak Prescott.
I mean,
Staff Master has arrived.
Staff Mastered Stafford.
Who wants staff?
I mean,
Oh no, he has a
realistically,
staph infection.
he does have a Super Bowl. So if you're going purely on team success, you almost got to give the nod to Matthew Stafford over Dak Prescott.
Staff man, you
Staff
know
man,
it's a
yeah.
staff man.
Welcome to the Sunday service, guys. How are you feeling?
Good.
Pretty good.
It was a hell of a rainy day this morning too.
Was it rainy out here?
Yeah, it was this morning.
Abby, it wasn't too bad out in Abbotsford. I think it was actually nice out in Abbotsford. But I don't know. I didn't really look outside, to be honest. Truthfully. If I had to actually tell you the truth, I don't think I looked outside until I came here.
It's warm. Yeah, it's warm outside and
It's
dry.
muggy as
dry
hell
now,
down
yeah.
here right now.
In the room.
Yeah, it's kind of muggy.
I'll get you a fan.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's
As soon
all
as
good.
you guys start talking, I'm gonna go get you a fan.
Shouldn't have said nothing.
Shouldn't have said anything.
What do we have on the docket today? It's kind of a
fucking
loose, kind of just a loose episode, isn't it?
A little bit of a loose episode, I guess. I think we should do our America Sweetheart recap on Wednesday, but I did kick it off. I enjoyed it, and I like what they're building. With this
It's
Netflix
interesting,
doc.
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad.
It entertained me, but it's very much a reality TV show.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I want. You thought it was gonna be more like a realistic BTS type of thing.
You got to.
Oh, yeah,
But you got to think
They already had. I didn't realize they already had a reality show.
Yeah, they had the reality show, and
It's
you got to
like a-
think this is like endorsed almost by the Joneses, right? So they're gonna give out a little bit of the juicy stuff, but I can't imagine the Jones family would let anything like very bad get out about it. You know, you know that they viewed it first before it went on Netflix and kind of gave the green or red light of what could be on and what couldn't be on.
You know,
for
Jerry
sure.
Jones doesn't review anything. He gets his grandkids to watch it and give them the Coles notes.
How do you open this Bluetooth? It's your email.
Well, yeah, but it's actually smart. Would you want to spend your time watching it if you could just have someone else watch it for you and tell you if it was good or not?
I mean, if it was my team and my cheerleading, of course I'd watch it.
Hey,
Of course I would.
the only thing I would say right
But yeah,
now,
you'd have. Sorry, go ahead.
just the only thing I would say right now that's drawing a line between the Cowboys and the DCC, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, is their old and probably outdated ownership that's running the squad. Like,
Oh yeah,
all the
yeah.
girls are from like who are watching the panel
Yeah.
are like from the 80s and 90s.
The one
which I'm
chick
not
still
saying
looks,
they
the
don't.
one chick still looks pretty good.
Oh, they might be the best at their job. They might be doing the best that you can do, but it's
But
just
maybe they need a
hilarious.
little pizzazz or little young life shot into it.
quick. And I know I was the one who said we shouldn't talk about it, but quick theory.
Yep.
They're leading to that 5th year Darlin.
Yep.
The dark haired. She will come on as the next.
That's
like,
what Tay said.
staff.
That's what Tay said.
DCC staff member.
Tay said the same thing
Like,
as you,
they're-
AJ.
I could already see they're kind of grooming her as like she's been the perfect cowboy,
Yep.
and
Yep.
she seems really nice. The other thing is all the fake ass crying.
Oh yeah.
Like all of them are like, oh,
Thank God it's not
wasn't
me. Yeah. Oh, we miss you. We're so sad you're leaving. Thank God it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here, Biash. Well, yeah, okay. We watched the first episode. I'll make sure I short up and we'll do it. We'll give a final review on Wednesday.
What, of just one episode?
No, of the whole
Oh,
the
okay.
series.
Is
Have
the
you-
series done? Is
There's
it all
7
out?
episodes.
Oh, they haven't released them all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I got 4, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Lynn's and I were watching it, and we watched one episode, and then she went to bed, and then those memes where it's like, okay, I'm going to bed, and then 4 hours later they're still in bed scrolling their phone. That's what Lynn's is like. So I went upstairs, and she was watching. I was like, "You're watching now? You're watching it without me?" So I'll have to just continue on.
You just gotta cut.
take notes at least.
I will take notes. I thought it would be fun. It would have been fun to do a live stream watch along.
We missed that though.
Yeah.
We missed that.
You know what
We
we'll
missed
do?
it.
It's certainly going to be a annual thing. I can imagine.
Well, I
or-
think it's got to be the next time, like when the Jerry Jones documentary comes out, we got to just hit it.
Yeah.
Day one, we
Yeah.
all have to watch it together, and we got to do
Watch and react as we're doing it.
yeah, something like that. Because that when it first came out, when the cheerleaders thing first came out, it was everywhere. You typed Dallas Cowboys, and it was just about the cheerleaders. So
Yeah. Okay.
we got to pounce on that stuff.
Yeah, what about the receivers? The receivers. July 10th comes. That receiver show comes out.
I haven't even heard of it.
So the same one quarterback that they did last year on Netflix that
Oh,
followed
interesting.
Mahomes. Well, now it's receivers. So it's Justin Jefferson. It's Kittle. It's
from last season.
Yep. It's what's his name? Who's the Debo Samuels? And it is
So they have 2 players from San Fran on it.
yeah.
Oh, lame.
Yeah, I remember seeing the list and yeah.
It didn't really pop
I'm
at
trying
ya?
to think
like
of
what
the-
we got to
oh,
watch
oh,
Justin
oh.
Jefferson rehab the whole season.
No, and it's
and then 2 San Fran boners.
St. Brown's in there as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be a good
St.
one
Brown's
because you
are
get
good.
Just
to see-
because his dad, I want to see him, his dad, and his brother work out.
Yeah.
But you could see it on YouTube no matter what right now. But
Yeah. All right.
hey, we
well,
got 2 people from Langley, BC, in here. Donnell
Whoa.
Johns, who's wants to know if we're doing anything for Canada Day. He's been in the chat before, and then You Need Help came in and says, "I'm
You
going
Need
to the
Help.
carnival and concert in Cloverdale." So we got 2 localized people
Oh,
here.
Shout out to Canada on this Canada Day long weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, the Canadians show up when there's a day off. It's like, okay, I know what I'm doing on my Sunday at 2 p.m.
Can fans out there? I'm in chat. No, we don't. I don't have anything planned for Canada Day tomorrow.
No, me neither. Now that I
Lounging.
Hey, look, I'm down to go eat some barbecue. Like, and when I say barbecue, it's not
Moose, barbecue moose.
just like hamburgers.
What
Hot
kind of barbecue?
dogs. Probably hot dogs, really.
Like just
Moose and
barbecue on
beaver?
barbecue on a
Just burning old shrubbery from the mountain and standing around with a
With a
wiener
little
on a
stick.
stick.
If you want to be really Canadian, you have to eat moose, beaver, covered in maple syrup while drinking a Molson Canadian.
Yeah.
And on your side, a poutine.
and and you finish it up with a Caesar.
Yeah, okay, Caesar, yeah. Or start the day off with a
Or
Caesar.
start it off. Your choice. Got to
Your
have a Caesar in there.
Depending if your hair or the dog in it. Okay, Cowboys Micah Parsons rebukes Malik Hooker's critique of his podcasting habits. Guys, this was the biggest news of the week. Of course, I think we were live the day before any of it happened, so
Yep.
we haven't had a time to kind of chat with each other about it. We were worried about something like this happening from the get-go, right? Like it's kind of been pretty good at you have content creators and you have sports talk show hosts, radio guys all talking about the Micah Parsons podcast, but hasn't really had any friendly fire from teammates. Well, you got that now.
Yep. It finally happened, and we knew it was going
We
to.
knew it was going to happen eventually. Before we read anything about it, what are your guys' thoughts?
Initially, my knee jerk was like ban anyone from doing podcasting, ban them all.
You wanted to iron fist it.
Yeah, but then I listened to a reply from our good friend from the cave,
Mike Tag.
Mike
Nate
Tag.
Tag, and he brought me back down to earth.
Well, what did he say?
Basically, to summarize, he was like, look, it is what it is. He's like, everyone has extracurricular. He's like, this is not my job, and I do my job. And like speaking of himself, like doing this content creation or podcasting is what I like to do for fun. And so everyone should be able to do that. And I agree. But the only problem is it's like, okay, but then, let's beware of that these scenarios can happen. And he also mentioned, and I agree, that they should have kept this in-house. Hooker should have said it to Micah if he felt that there was a problem, like Michael said. And the only contrary to that is like, okay, but Micah's not keeping it in-house by doing his podcast. And so, like, where's the line then that we draw where we say, okay, this is allowed?
Yeah, you can say what you want about the sport, the game, but I can't say that I think you having your own show during the season could be critical to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I understand there's an obvious thing, okay, what you're speaking of your teammate, but it's like, well, for sure. But Micah did quite a bit of speaking about games and stuff with players from other teams, which I thought was really cool and really enlightening. Like Micah Parsons did the interview with Jordan Love. I thought that was like really cool, but it was a little bit strange, right? Like, you want them to hate each other, but it is a business, and they're business partners in a sense, being national football players. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that they are airing it out like that, because who knows what's going to happen behind closed doors. We could say like, oh, Micah, you should have called him up and said something to him versus tweeting back about it, which kind of sucks. I mean, I think the whole thing just sucks anyways. I never had a problem with him doing a podcast because it looks like he does it in his bedroom. But like you said, or like we've said this entire time, it's just, where's your kind of effort going? Where's your mind share with the teams going? He said it in his response, which we'll talk about in a minute here. Like, I do it on my off days.
Yeah. Okay. So my advice for Micah, and this is Hooker talking, my advice for Micah would be just make sure we're all right and being where your feet are. Because if we're at work and, the run game's terrible, but you're doing a podcast every week and the run game is terrible, then what are you really caring about? Are you caring about the crowd that was watching the podcast, or are you caring about the success of our team and the Super Bowl that we're trying to reach? So that was the very first shot that Malik Hooker had said on the podcast. And I just want to talk about what he said. I don't even think it's that bad, to be honest. Like, is it that bad? Like, does it feel like it's a super huge slight at Micah at all to you guys?
No. Again, it's just the singling out of Micah Parsons. I think that is like the worst thing. But
hey, man, you're going to be one of the top players on that team, or you are one of the top players on the team. You're going to get some shrapnel for having all the eyes on you, realistically, because he may have even, and I don't have any proof of what he said or didn't say in the rest of the interview that he was in, but no journalist is going to run with other players. But as soon as you hear Micah Parsons, they're already like that. It got blasted on our feeds like crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Ultra Cowboy says, he has a string of stuff here, so I'm going to go through it.
Okay.
When people complain about Micah, remember this. Lawrence Taylor played but didn't record a tackle in 15 games in the playoffs in his career. During his 2 Super Bowl wins in 1986 and 1990, he only had 0.5 sacks. He had only 6.5 sacks in the
playoffs.
LT wasn't a leader. LT did cocaine and Micah does podcasts. I prefer the Micah way. The Dallas Soy Boy fans could not survive the 90s Cowboys. Hooker complains about Micah, but Brock Hoffman does a podcast as well.
Yep.
And then he starts going into about how
Brock Hoffman hasn't started for the Cowboys. Brock Hoffman's not about to be the highest paid non-quarterback for the Cowboys.
He goes, Micah and Diggs are tired of Dak. Diggs did not have to wait to get paid. This defense has been way better since Micah's come on. And then he goes into about Dak. Then he goes into
stay in
Dak
the lane.
sucks.
Let's stay in the lane.
But that's he's saying that we're all trying to have Micah as a leader. I think we've talked about it before.
I'm at the point I could give 2 fucks if Micah's a leader.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I don't care if he's a leader, but I still want him to show up. I still want him to succeed in the postseason. I don't care if Lawrence Taylor had 1 tackle in playoff games. It doesn't matter to me. I want Micah Parsons to have sacks and have tackles in the postseason, right? Like the Dallas Cowboys defense isn't good enough that when Micah Parsons gets schemed out of a game for the other guys to pick up the slack.
No.
So he's got to find a way around it. He's also going to make 10 times what LT ever made. So it's apples to oranges as far as I'm concerned, comparing them to each other.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to read this
Oh yeah, okay, go for it. Do it.
reply here.
Do it, dog.
This is Micah Parsons replying to Malik Hooker or Malik Hooker.
Malik.
Malachi Hooker.
Just wish you said this to me, but instead on some podcast. And you got my number, family. And you, my locker mate. So you could have said this any day. And you do realize I shoot the podcast stuff on our off day. Why ain't we talking about everyone preparation and focus?
You almost pulled a me there.
So-
Hey, just reading exactly what's in front of you.
why?
Here's the problem is I don't mind either one of these guys doing their thing until I see like this is as close as we've gotten to this point where I think it's like, okay, this could be detrimental to a team and locker room chemistry. I don't think so by the way that these guys are talking to each other, but again, it's like, so obviously Micah Parsons, he has his number 2. He could have called Hooker, talked to him, but he chose to reply on. So it's like they just can't help but share their thoughts with the public. And I think that's the most damaging thing about this whole thing. All of it is just fallout from like what 2 guys should have been talking to in a locker room, just like Micah said, but then Micah should have followed his own advice.
I'm just going to start anytime we have any type of disruption between us 3. I'm just going to tweet it into the, or I'm just going to put it out in the X sphere.
Yeah.
Even though no one will read it.
But there's only
I have alerts here, so it pops up during the show. And
We're only talking. We're all only talking to each other through
through
X.
tweeting and X or whatever.
Why would you put this photo out in the middle of our show? No, but you know what I mean? This is the
NFL you live in.
Yeah, well, this is the stuff that can sour a locker room when these guys should be fine to talk with one another. It's just so weird the only reason you share something online is so other people see it.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about it, and that makes me not concerned, it happened in June and not in November, right? Like June when really the team hasn't been with each other now really for a bit. And I'll tell you this would have been a worse thing to come out right after the Green Bay loss.
Can I tell you who the first guest is going to be on Micah's show?
Who?
Hooker.
That'd be good.
You should have him on.
He should have
That's
him
how
on.
you salvage it.
For sure.
And they talk about it.
And then Malik says no because we're playing football.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be on your show. We're preparing for
Told you.
We're preparing for the Cleveland Browns.
Pack Attack with a $5 super chat says, "Yo, just send us Parsons."
Hey,
Get out of here.
Get out of here,
Pack
Pack. We
Attack.
appreciate the super chat.
Get out of here.
You guys, oh man, could you imagine?
Well, and actually, hey, Pack Attack, I got something Packers related that we're going to get to later on in the show. So, not to tell you to boosh around for a little bit, but hey.
And we
boosh around
appreciate
for a
the
little
super
bit.
chat.
Super appreciate the super chat.
But we ain't giving you Micah.
But we ain't giving you Micah Parsons,
'Cause
okay?
hey man, I was on the page that I wanted Micah Parsons to become a leader, like, and I really, but I'm over that now. I just want him to be really good at football and make big plays in big games. That's it. That's all I care about.
I think I also wanted him to be a leader
And watch that bomb ass podcast that he has.
called Micah's Bomb Ass Podcast. I also wanted him to be a leader, but if he's not, then okay, don't make him that and treat him like you would any other specialty player where he gets the special treatment because he is worth it. And like you just accept that and work the rest of the team around the guys. This is kind of how I think a lot of stars need to be dealt with, and some are more difficult than others, but it's what happens, right?
Can I evolve this conversation since it's still topical with what we're talking about right now?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So
50-50.
Guess you got to flip a coin. Hey, I got a coin. I got the yes or no coin
but
on
it-
me.
but it-
Hey, I got the yes or no coin.
No coin.
And we don't go against it. We don't go against the yes or no coin. We don't go
Who
against.
calls it? Adam.
Well, it's going to be yes or no.
Heads yes, tail no?
No, it's just literally yes or no.
Okay.
So yes, we can move on. No, you get booshed.
Okay, go for it.
Oh shit. I won't look. And yes, we can keep talking about it.
Okay.
And that's the thing. You can't. If there's ever a time where we almost did it once when Anth and I were traveling to Dallas on Thanksgiving without you, and we almost did it, and then we're like, well, wait a second. It's detrimental because you have to follow it.
Yeah, you have to follow.
Oh
it.
yeah. You can only flip it when either outcome
is a yes or no, and you have to crack him if you got him over there.
Oh.
Actually, while Ad goes on about his whatever he was going to go on about, you want to toss me another one there, AJ?
Yep.
Ad, let's hear
Toss
it.
me one, son.
Oh,
you didn't know?
Okay, so one of the things that I think was the most that's the tag team champs.
Okay.
That's this part.
Oh, you didn't know?
Okay, sorry, you were gonna tell us what we didn't know.
Okay, so on this podcast, and I think maybe Law Nation posted it on his IG. Malik Hooker was talking a bit more about the difference between Zimmer as a coach, a defensive coordinator, and DQ. And I thought that was far more of an interesting topic to kind of go down the hill in terms of how DQ responds to players messing up and how Zimmer.
You want me to look that up?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it's I think it kind of.
Yeah, that's funny because I didn't even see that clip.
Well, this is the problem with they take something like this from his interview, and everyone's going to be talking about the Micah Parsons Malik Hooker battle. But what he was saying in there is how disciplined and how well we all already knew that Zimmer was going to be a little bit more hardcore than DQ, but just the difference in coaching techniques with players.
And that big old belly he's got.
Oh yeah.
Oh, DQ is max hardcore.
Yeah.
And like my favorite actor.
And the reason it kind of sparked because Ultra Cowboy says Diggs, Overshown, and Leofau added to the defense. Let's go. And I think
Kendricks also.
And Kendricks. So
you say that was Law Nation, sorry?
I think Law Nation posted it, and he posted the blurb. This is some behind baseball while we're bringing this up. But essentially, he was saying how, let's say a player would keep on messing up in terms of coverage or schemes, or just their assignment. DQ would kind of he was basically saying DQ would dumb down the defense to play to that character or that player's weaknesses almost. Whereas Zimmer is just going to sit people. If he'll give them a chance once, try to help correct them, and if they can't do it, he's going to.
What do you guys like better?
Rotate them out.
What do you like better?
Well, we saw how it didn't work last year by them changing the complete defensive coverage against that Packers game.
Well, that was just insane.
Which was bizarre.
I just still don't understand that.
But
at all.
There is the sense of and I could be throwing you down the wrong path. I'm pretty sure it was Law Nation who posted it.
It's all right. I'm just looking for his
but I think that so I don't get it a couple times. Well, okay, well, you're not going to get it. Let's change the type of coverage, and then now everybody on the team suffers. So, or do you sit that player who can't do it, and you have somebody in there that can do it?
Well, give me an example though, of last year's team. So what were they dumbing down for who?
Well,
he didn't really. I don't think he wanted to call out any players on who couldn't get anything.
Is this it right here?
Yeah. This is it. This is it right here. So maybe just even play it.
So now you get new defensive coordinator in Mike Zimmer. He sat out of coaching ball for a couple years, and he was a head coach in Minnesota, was previously the defensive coordinator in Dallas. Now he's back for a second tenure as the DC. How much you think a difference he'll make compared to what Dan Quinn was calling on defense?
I wouldn't necessarily say how much of a difference because that they would be calling because we are where we are. We were successful in the defense we played in. You know what I'm saying? We had great success and we had some downfalls in the defense. So them as coaches, I feel like, especially with the team we got, their job ain't to go and, bring a whole new XYZ or whole new system. He pretty much just made it easier to the point of he's nothing less than demanding of what he wants done on the field. And I feel like, I'm not saying Dan Quinn didn't do that either because DQ, I love DQ. We still talk to this day, man. He's one of the guys that
talking it back.
He's a big reason why I'm here in Dallas still and why I got to Dallas.
Yeah.
There's just there's a certain way that you got to coach certain guys. Different guys are being able to coach them, man. He's one of the guys that he's a big reason why I'm here in Dallas still and why I got to Dallas.
Yeah.
It's just saying there's a certain way that you got to coach.
We need to do a clip where we're saying something. We just cut to Keyshawn.
I feel like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Was this the
This is
because of how player oriented DQ was.
This is right here.
Like guys will relate to him, and he wouldn't have to coach a certain way that Zim does now. You see what I'm saying? Like you heard all the story. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, is Zim still quiet as a church mouse, or does he say anything? Or because he really never, man, he like when he was my DC, quiet as a church mouse, don't say nothing.
Because you're an offense, Sean.
I think approach it differently.
Yeah, and he comes in there because we're like in these first couple phases like OTAs and whatnot. We'll have meetings, and he'll come in there, and he'll talk at the beginning of the meeting. And then you won't see him again, but he'll come in the meeting room while you're in there and you're with your position coach or whatever just to check things out. He really won't say anything then. But on the field, yeah, you're going to get coached. He's going to talk to you on that field. Like whether you're a safety, whether you're a linebacker, whatever the case may be, he's going to come down and he's going to coach you off. So I think that's what I love about him, as well as, like I said, him and DQ are different. He's more like he going to give you a couple chances to mess up, but if you keep messing up, you can't get it right. I'm going to get somebody else in there. To whereas DQ was more player oriented to if something couldn't get done right or we kept messing up on something, he would just try to, I guess, level it down to make it easier for everybody to be able to still go out there and do what they was going to do. But
I don't like it. I don't like that style.
You don't like he said leveling it down, but basically dumbing it down for the dummy-o defense.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. If you have something that you think is going to work and you need your players to do that, you can't change it. You have to keep that.
It all depends on how complex your scheme is and how long you've been working with those guys. So I think that's like really interesting to think of, because if Dan Quinn had that defense for 3 years and had to dumb his defense down. Now, last season, I think everyone can give him a little bit of a little bit more rope for how things went, because got put in a bit of a position there where you had to make a defense work with very limited linebackers, right? But it's interesting to hear that's Zimmer's approach, and he's coming on with a new team. And from what I know, and you guys can yell at me if I'm wrong online, not in this room. But
I'm going to tweet it.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tweet how
just
wrong
tweet
you are.
it. What an idiot.
What a dummy.
Idiot producer I have.
Doesn't even know what he's talking about. Maybe if he thought about what he was saying before he said it. That's going to be my tweet.
But Zimmer's scheme does differ from what Dan Quinn was running. So that's interesting. Now, I don't know that it's going to be leagues different for every single position, but it definitely does look like it's a different defense. Like, I would be changing my playbook in Madden if this was Madden.
But what could you be installing in a defense that's so hard that they can't?
I know at this level that you're playing, you're expecting that the guy.
Because they had athletic guys. I'm confused what that could be.
I think it's just a tipping point of going off of your instinct, those instinct players who are out there on the field, and they might not even know why they did what they chose. They might not know why they do what they choose to do exactly, but it's like their brain has played football for so long that they just react to how the game is going, and there's players that can do that. Then there's other players who need to put in the work. They're obviously definitely athletically gifted, but what takes them to that next level is like they're extremely smart on the play and like have a more calculated approach to the where they're going to shift or what they're going to do. So I think like that could be a major difference for how a player plays in one defense and the other by asking him. So in that sense, you'd be like, okay, you probably excel in a Zimmer defense, but if you're more of an instinctual guy, then maybe Dan Quinn will be like, I see what I got in you, and this is how I'm going to shape my defense to kind of work with what you give best. Where Zimmer's like, I need you to do this.
Zimmer's more missed assignments don't fly.
Yeah, which is kind of how I think. Here's the other thing. I feel like Zimmer. I think all
hardest nips in the game, baby.
Hardest nips, biggest rock hard gut.
Yo. Speaking of guts, Ultra Cowboy says AJ wants to rub Zimmer's belly for good luck. Buddha Zimmer.
Hell yes, I do.
Yeah.
I would do it too. I'd lick his belly button if it guaranteed a Super Bowl.
I feel like we need to get a little pot belly Zimmer. I feel like we got get like a little bobblehead pot belly Zimmer that we can put in here.
You know what I want to get? One of those good luck cats that you
see
at the
I have
stores. But then we'll print a little Zimmer.
I know.
Face
I should have grabbed one. I have one of those upstairs.
Okay,
it doesn't move though.
That's okay. I don't need it to move.
I was gonna say
good luck when it does.
Yeah. I mean, all these players you're through Pee-wee all the way through high school into college and everything, like, isn't that how most coaches are coaching? Like, they're not going to necessarily go down and change an entire scheme for one player. So players are kind of into that environment since day one when they start playing. That if you blow an assignment, you're going to either get benched or you're just going to get fucking torched.
But
you know, and torched on the field is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but certain players are going to just excel regardless if they're just that athletically gifted. Also, a lot of college football they're not all playing the same complex playbook. So there's certain schools that are more NFL ready and other schools that are like you're going with a little bit more hope on, okay, are these guys, they have all the athletic gifts, are they going to be able to comprehend an NFL playbook?
I can relate to DQ and Zimmer as another coach.
Yeah.
Just knowing the personnel that you have available to you and how you kind of have to manage it with salary cap and like trades and stuff. So sometimes you just don't have the option, and I could see where DQ would have to like try to adjust based on the player that they have. Because what if there is nobody else that you can replace it with? That's the kind of the other side of the sword.
Then you beat it into their stupid heads.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, it's funny because your players are going through the exact same thing the Dallas Cowboys players are. With your players are having TikTok battles.
I know.
And
They are. They absolutely are.
And all being too dumb to figure out their concepts.
Pack Attack.
They're like 11.
They are.
Like
They
11.
are 11. They're 11. They're 11 and 10.
You dummy-os can't figure out this.
You can't figure this out. Coach Bessie, why are you yelling at me? Pacatet says, legit question. You think the Cowboys would have made a closer game manning up against our receivers versus what they ended up playing?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Some of the biggest plays in the game were blown zone coverages.
Yeah.
They would have just played man. Don't get me wrong here. Green Bay was 100% the better team that day. Yeah. They came out ready to play. Their defense played awesome. Aaron Jones had this 3 touchdowns. Their receivers were getting open all over the place. But the coaching decisions from the Dan Quinn and the defensive side of the ball definitely didn't help. I'm not saying they would have won because Green Bay came in there ready to play. Green Bay should have beat San Fran. Like, Green Bay was a very good football team.
Yeah.
But if they would have manned up and played how they played the rest of the season, maybe they have a better chance, or at least a less shitty outcome.
Well, that's the problem with the NFL playoffs. Well, not the problem.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Crack them if you got them.
Fucking these Sunday crack'ems when you don't have to work Monday, they just hit different.
They do.
Crack them if you got them.
Oh,
I have some serious under boob sweat going on too.
It's the one game playoffs that make the NFL such a interesting and unique sport. Well, I guess soccer.
Two seed get knocked out by the 7 seed, man.
Yeah,
in one game. Yeah. In one game, whole season erased by one game.
Rolando Rodriguez says, Cowboys CanFan, what's up from South Texas? A bunch of beer emojis. Cheers. Crack 'em if you got 'em. Go Cowboys.
Love it.
Sup, Rolando.
Love it.
R2.
Well, look, we all hope for the best here, and we'll see how this plays out. I think that's the last of it.
We're all hoping that Zimmer's defensive ways are better than Dan Quinn, just because, unfortunately, Dan Quinn isn't with the Cowboys anymore. He was there for 3 seasons. They had some good stuff on tape, and they had a lot of turnovers and a lot of defensive touchdowns. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys didn't get to where we all hope the Dallas Cowboys can get. So
we had some good times.
Bring on the Zimmer years.
So did you want to do the we did this last year, that 20 questions starting with the top 3, or did we want to go to Ada?
You know what? Since we were just talking Packers, let's go on to my play of the week.
Play of the week.
So offensive play of the week.
Okay, so as you know,
set it up.
Okay, so
they're showing the play already.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
It's off screen. Off screen.
So Alex got me this book for my birthday, my 40th birthday. He knew I was becoming a coach, starting my coaching career in Pee Wee. He willed it into what positional coach I'm going to be, and I'm going to be halfback and receivers coach. Sucks to be those kids, right?
Not after this.
Not after this. No. So like I've been doing my work. You know, I've been putting in the effort. One of the things that Alex tasked me to is picking a play of the week, whether it is from my trends book that he got me.
And this is who's it by?
This is by Coach
like a mom. A mom helping.
Who's it by? Hold it up.
Trends in Offensive Football by Dan Casey. So
And that's at Coach Dan Casey.
at Coach Dan Casey. And this is actually a pretty solid book. I know it's a solid book because this morning when I was the funny thing is, weird how the world works. I feel like I was Jim Carrey in the number 23, the 23 movie. I was sitting there drinking coffee from my
Is that the
Dallas.
one where he goes, "Somebody stop me"?
no, that's the mask. I was reading.
It's the one when he goes, "Cable guy."
No, it was the one where he goes, "Oh, smoking." No, I was reading my book this morning, and I was drinking coffee, and I took a break, and I was kind of scanning through here. I'm reading through book, but also on Instagram, like how much reading was I actually doing?
Right. Not much.
But I saw that J-Tuck was reading. I was like, oh, that looks similar because he was scanning through some stuff. He's on vacation or something right now, and he's like putting in the work. And then he posted this play, and I was literally right around the same kind of page structure. So I thought it was very fitting for us to talk about the same play that J-Tuck posted on his Instagram. And the play in question today is going to be a play from the Packers, and this was where I was tied into our super chat. And this one's a post and wheel sale from the Packers. So you can bring it up, and I'll read out, as we're looking at it, I'll read out what Dan Casey wrote about it in here.
Scroll down, AJ, to the formation first.
Okay,
yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah. So here's the here's the formation.
But sorry, just before you hop into it, I just want to say we're trying to promote this book, but also we want to show off the goods that it gets. It's a really cool book, and so
it's actually really sweet.
Don't sue us
because it shows the play, and then it also has a write up, and then you can check the tape there. So it's pretty sweet. The idea is it's to give coaches and it's trends. So all of this stuff is relevant from the last 2 years. It's not like from the mid 90s and whatnot. It's kind of going through. So in this one, how we break it down, this is the post wheel sale. In 2023, Matt LaFleur had the youngest roster in the entire NFL, and he was tasked at replacing quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So obviously we have Jordan Love coming in. The Packers did experience some early season struggles, naturally, as any kind of young team does. But as their young wide receivers matured, you could see the passing concepts mature with them. So this play in question, and the reason it's so typical to a Cowboys CanFan podcast is we got cooked on this play, and it'll show it up there in a second here. By the time they hit the wild card round of the playoffs, LaFleur playoff was dialing up some sinister shot plays off play action. So this is an off play action play. Oh. On this particular play, the Packers' leading wide receiver Jayden Reed motions into a wheel route. Speedster Bo Melton is on
So what guy is he? He's
Z. Sorry, I'm reading, and you tell me. You call it the numbers there, okay? So we have Jayden Reed motions into a wheel route. Speedster Bo Melton is on the post route.
That's X here.
Yeah,
big post.
Big post with a nice little jig there. Yep. And then we have Romeo Dobbs runs a sail route, which looks like a fake cross to a deep out at 18-20 yards.
And just looking at what the Cowboys defense is playing, they're in like a cover three. They only have one deep safety.
They have 3 defenders on the right side of this football field. Holy shit. And one of them is a strong strong side middle linebacker. So
yeah. So this is a backbreaking route concept for defense trying to play a single high safety versions of cover 3 or cover 1, which is kind of what you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you scroll here, you can actually see.
Well, go down first. Go down. Get down to the play for a sec.
This is the.
Yeah, I don't want to see the actual play. Who do you guys think gets the ball?
Go back up, back up to the play.
Who do you think gets the ball?
It's going to be X or Z. Or H or Z. Sorry. H or Z. Because they're both going to end up in this side.
I'm not going to say because I already know.
Okay.
Ant, who do you think?
H.
H? Okay.
So H is getting the ball for you? Okay.
So should we go up to the... Here we go.
H with the catch.
Wide open.
Wide open!
Why is he...
Go down to and then it shows a different angle there. So this is actually, this is one of the best things from this book is that it actually shows... It shows a couple different angles from the play. It gives you the route. It gives you the route there, so you can kind of analyze it and see what everybody else is doing.
In real. And you know what's? You can absolutely see those 2 wide receivers just emptying that.
And what are the Cowboys playing? They're playing zone.
Yeah, go down. Zone. Yeah, so looking from this angle here.
Smokes their asses.
Here's from the reverse angle. Love drops back, just an easy toss. No one even close. runs for an extra, I don't know, 15, 20 yards. Well, hey, what a damaging attack. Now, is this something that was drawn up, do you think? Like, they obviously were practicing for this, knowing the Cowboys were going to be weak if they ran this style of play.
Well, the
And then attack
offense,
that side.
this play would work pretty well in man coverage either way.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not even been banking on the Cowboys running zone coverage as much as they did.
But just the personnel, the players they had available to play defense.
Yeah.
And they knew, okay, they're going to be, which is weird that we had 4 linebackers when we only had 2 on the team.
Yeah, so this type of play comes into, they have it in their offensive calls for any team that's playing like a cover 3 or a cover 1 with a single high safety. So obviously when you're looking at what they're changing and how teams are adjusting, you'll have certain plays that they'll kind of slot in to attack that type of defensive structure, or Jordan Love will know what to maybe check down or to audible to based on what the defense is doing in their setup. So
well, and watch Micah here. Watch Micah on this. They have the perfect play here for him.
What side is he on?
He's left
right?
side.
Left side.
So Micah's down left.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely destroys the left tackle, but then Aaron Jones is there to pick up the block.
Right.
To give enough time.
Then this completely opens up that side.
Go back to the one other view one more time, Alex.
The top, yeah.
Yeah, the top one there. Just so you can see it from that angle. So we can see what the offensive player is doing. And then
I mean, even if who's on him there, is that Dono Dubb? Even if Dono Dubb makes the right decision and follows him, or
no, I think it's Jordan Lewis.
Lewis, sorry. The cornerback there who
it's
gets beaten.
J-Lu.
Even if he follows him, the guy can still make a play on the ball. It's 1-on-1, even if he's right on with him.
Yeah,
it's a very good play.
he has that extra. You could see he gets that extra step. Was it J-Lu that you said J-Lu he beats there?
Yeah,
I can't see it from there.
But it is this is the Ace Razor post wheel and sail.
Yeah,
cool.
there was no sale.
Well, hey,
plus sale.
There was no sale.
There was no sale there.
There was just
Why do they call it a sale though?
it's a sail route that the one guy was doing.
Is that
right there? This one where he comes up and cuts out and catches it.
The post, the wheel, and the sail, they're just all different routes that the wide receivers run.
And he initially has those 3 different options to go to.
Fucking everybody's open.
Yeah,
tight end's open in the middle. Of the field.
Actually, the post route is the only one
that's covered. But they could have taken a shot. They could have taken a shot 1-on-1 to the outside. The tight end's wide open right here.
But I mean he bit pretty hard on that little fake step, and then he was just he had like 5 steps ahead of him. So, well, concept, that was it. So that's the play of the offensive play of the week.
Is it bad that it just pissed me off again?
I know. Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to get out that seems. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gone through the entire book to see.
It's just all Cowboys.
Yeah, it's all
just getting smashed.
You're like, what the fuck is
what is going on?
I don't know. But that's very cool. Thanks for sharing, and I look forward to.
Hey, that was your idea. You got me the book, and then you said bring that up. So we'll start with this book. But I'm not gonna crack him if you got him. I'm not gonna be opposed to bringing up some Pee Wee plays where we cook some defenses this year.
No, exactly.
I'm not the one necessarily lining up any of the plays.
I can't wait to be there because I'm going to be watching the games and filming and be like, hey, I want to know what was in your mindset when you called this stupid play.
Well, it's not me calling the offensive plays.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'm just my job is there, and I feel like that is based on with Riker the last few years. I've been like doing one-on-one coaching with players, and I've been fixing like fundamental stuff. I might not know concept-wise yet what stuff will work, but I think I can really make one individual player better at their specific position. I think that's where my strength at least is.
As long as they're not like, fuck you, coach.
Well, they could be. I mean, at this age, I think they're still all very, very respectful.
Well, the good thing with football, I think in Chilliwack right now, and even in Canada general, like I think anyone that's playing football is there to play football and listen to their coaches.
Yeah.
So.
We see a couple. There was last year on. There's a couple kids that you can see. It's like, but we had our head coaches talk to the parents at the first practice and said, "This is gonna be the toughest summer that the kids are ever going to go through, and it's going to really bring into question whether or not they really want to play football." And he's like, "And it's okay if you realize maybe it's not for me, we'll figure out some sort of refunding or partial refund to make sure you guys can try other stuff out. But
It's just a pyramid scheme to get kids there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get them to quit.
See what happens is you'll get your money back once you pay for your season. You just gotta wait till next season.
but
And get 3 other kids to sign up.
Yeah.
And then once you get those other 3 kids to sign up, you get half of the partial payback.
Now you're not even paying for your season.
but I was gonna say what I liked about football compared to other sports that the kids have gone through the last few years is that they go into a combine, so everyone's kind of getting drafted. So I think it's important for the kids to kind of see that you got to work to get something, even though you don't say, "Hey, you were the last person picked." Like that doesn't come out to it. But
No,
like,
you guys don't say that. They have their peers to tell them that.
yeah, and then the other side of it is like, at least our coaching staff is like, we're here to win. We're not here for like, the kids are going to have fun if we're winning. So let's do everything we can to prepare them to win, and let's not shy away from that. Of like, just here's a participation trophy and thanks for showing up and
That's how kids get hurt.
Are you Coach Ad or Coach Dad?
I'm Coach Ad.
Or Coach Bess?
I'm Coach Bess. No, Coach Adam, I think they'll say.
I don't know if I like the ring of that.
No, neither do I. Or maybe Coach Bessie. I think they
Coach
said Coach
Bessie's.
Bessie. We'll see. Hey, you'll see.
Or just Coach?
Hey, we have 2 tournaments in August, and then we have regular season starts in September. So you're gonna see.
Okay.
You better get your fucking hard nip.
Oh, yeah.
Hard belly.
Hey, you better get working on that gut.
No, I'm like I think like this. I feel like I'm a young gun. I'm like 40. I'm older than Sean McVay when he was a head coach of an NFL team. Okay.
Coming in with just these new outlooks. I
Yeah.
got my trends book. All right, 20 questions, guys. We got 20 questions. We did this last year where DallasCowboys.com and the staff writers, they come up with 20 questions heading into training camp. And we like to go through and see what they're talking about and like formulate our own opinions. And starting off with question 20 is, what is the next player to sign a long-term deal for the Dallas Cowboys?
So we are counting down. This is the 28, 19, and 18 that we're doing, and they usually release them in threes, or I think
No, it's like one every like 2 days or something.
right. But
For
I think
us, it's usually about
like,
3 days.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
3.
So we'll start with this, and this is a really fun exercise. It's by the Dallas Cowboys staff writers who don't get to see a lot of sunlight. So if you go ahead,
They're like that Barbarian movie. They're the chicks in the cave.
yeah, exactly. Jerry's fucking disgusting.
No,
children.
Dan Quinn's the one who's letting people milk from those hard nips of his.
They live in the catacombs.
Zimmer, you mean?
Sorry, not Dan Quinn. Mike Zimmer is the barbarian chick. She had a pot belly and
Totally.
hard nips, and he's out there like
And it's the
letting people suck on them.
It's the catacombs of AT&T Stadium.
No, it's the remnants of Texas Stadium or whatever it was. That's where it was.
Funny, that was one of Zimmer's main questions when he was picking a new team. Is like, well, how deep does the guts of the stadium go? And remember when we went to the tour, they said that those anchors of the stadium go down like
20 stories or something
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
huge amount.
Zimmer
Zimmer's
has
at the
the
bottom of that.
anchor catacomb.
Funny story. While we were there, they actually go into one of the main episodes in DCCC, America's Sweethearts, is the Thanksgiving Day game. So while that was being filmed,
Because Dolly Parton.
While that was being filmed, we were up in that change room, fellas. So
Oh yeah,
just thought it was kind of interesting.
sniffing
timeline.
seats.
Sniffing seats.
No, that was AJ. AJ was sniffing seats.
Get your nose off that seat.
No, we were very.
Well, you
respectful.
remember
very respectful.
in the Cowboys change room, you couldn't. You're not supposed to put anything on there like freaking really expensive cherry oak.
I know.
Don't
And I
touch the
saw a guy.
cherry
I saw a guy sitting down, and I almost was like, "Hey, you're not supposed to sit down here."
Hey, feed
Get the fuck off Hoffman's seat.
I mean, as a player coming in, you're like, why would you have such expensive stuff in a locker room? Like, go something that's sturdy and durable. Like, don't have something that's overly expensive.
Wait, you don't think cherry oak's durable?
Well, it's probably durable, but like,
Guess you never had to take down a cherry oak tree.
I've
I
never had
get
a
cherry oak because it rhymes with Jerry.
I get cherry and I
Jerry
get the
oak
Jerry oak tree,
Geriatric tree?
the
So-
geriatric tree.
So, guys, should we look first, or do we?
Well,
just
we know
wanna
that
answer?
we next player to sign long-term deal. Who do you guys think? There's no answer yet.
Man,
Like we're just using this
C-
question.
CeeDee
We're
Lamb.
we're just piggybacking the question for our own response. I don't
Yeah.
even think we read theirs.
okay. I'm stumped. That's the problem because obviously, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, right now.
Yeah,
come
because
to
the
mind.
threes are the Micah,
Micah-
CD, and Dak. Are
Micah's
kind of,
waiting another year.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
Because they got
yeah.
the smart move is between balancing what they're going to do if they continue with Dak Prescott and then what they're going to do with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
It baffles me that CeeDee Lamb seems like the more easy signing, and so I would put my money on him. It's more obvious. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of working out whatever details they are trying to work out.
Because you basically have Dak Prescott has already said he'll play without a new deal.
Yep.
You have Micah Parsons who still has 2 years left.
You got to, yeah, exactly.
And then you have CeeDee Lamb who's on his last year, and a bunch of other wide receivers are getting paid. So it seems to be the most obvious answer, at least. Like CeeDee Lamb seems to be the most obvious answer. So which means Micah will probably get paid next, which is how crazy the Cowboys can be sometimes. Right? Like, would you guys be surprised if it was Micah? My pick is CeeDee Lamb, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did something crazy and paid Micah Parsons before.
Mine's CeeDee Lamb as well.
It's got to be. It's got to be CeeDee.
Would I be surprised? It's getting harder and harder to be surprised. But yes, I would still be surprised because could you imagine what type of fucking tantrum that would throw the media in? You jump Dak Prescott, you jump CeeDee Lamb, and then you sign Micah Parsons.
That's what I mean,
2
though.
years
Like,
before he needs
to a record-breaking deal.
Like none of it would make sense, and that's where I might.
That's why it seems like it might be what happens. I'm honestly surprised that CeeDee Lamb hasn't been paid yet.
I know.
Truthfully,
it is. It's wild.
Who do they say? I know we said we didn't care.
Well, Patrick Walker, right off the hop. I honestly don't see how it won't be CeeDee Lamb, to be honest. Next, Kurt Daniels. At this point, I'd have to go with CeeDee Lamb. Duh. What is Mickey Spagnola also says next to sign likely becomes CeeDee Lamb.
And I wish DallasCowboys.com would come up with some better names for their AI answers.
Yeah,
Mick or
Mickey.
Spagnola. How more Italian can you get?
Mickey Spagnola.
Well, I know how. Mickey Spaghetti.
Which, if that was on a menu, and then Nick
man, you're disgusted.
You're not even trying. You're not even trying DallasCowboys.com with these fake names.
They've given up.
And we just went 7 for 7. Everyone says CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, it's the obvious
But
answer.
what's the holdup? It's the guaranteed money.
So Micah Parsons is going to be the next one.
Okay. Well, hey, next we're going to, unless Chad has anyone out there, but I think everyone's like, yeah, let's move on to the next. Which UDFA undrafted free agent will make the biggest impact in the 2024-2025 season?
See, I don't know if I'm versed well enough to pick anyone, even.
No, but
I could even name 5 of them.
UDFA, and I guess it would have to be the UDFA from this year.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh, yeah, I imagine they're going with this year.
But,
Who's that running back they signed? Pete?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Let's get us the UDFA 2024 list up so we can take a little peeky poo at it.
We don't have that technology.
Which UDFA will make the biggest impact? June 27th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. DallasCowboys.com. Dallas Cowboys staff writers. They didn't even go with any specific person because there's multiple AI bots answering.
Okay, here we go. And the guy's name is Nathaniel Pete.
Nathaniel Pete. Okay.
Nathaniel Pete with those fancy feet.
Hey, and he's at the top of the list here. So let's
Fancy
take a
feet,
look.
Nathaniel Pete.
So we got Nathaniel Pete, running back, wide receiver Cam Johnson, wide receiver Corey Crooms, tight end Brevin Spann. I don't even know any of these names, fellas. Like, just keep scrolling down. I'm gonna see if there's anything else. Or is that
This is it.
I got to go with the only guy that off the top of my brain is Nathaniel Pete. Because he could be special teams possibly, and he could be a third down back.
Okay.
I mean, you could pick.
Yeah.
You could pick maybe.
I'd say maybe one of these defensive ends.
Defensive end, maybe. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Just because we might need one of them on the team.
See, and this is one of the articles that I don't mind reading through the answers of the Dallas Cowboys staff writers because it's going to make us know some of these players.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go linebacker. Because I think one of the and this is where I don't know. I think it's Jason Johnson. One of them played in the NFL, and then he went to UFL, led the league, and then he's coming back. Then he came back in from the UFL.
I think that was Brock Morganson.
So then I'd say Brock Morganson, whichever one
a great name
was
too.
in the NFL.
Yeah, but no, sorry, timeout. This is undrafted free agents. Those guys you're talking about were drafted by NFL teams.
Yeah. This is UDFA
This is guys
this year.
No,
this year.
but I'm pretty sure
This is guys that are undrafted
But if
this
you
year.
played
a guy
in the
that was in the
NFL,
I don't. Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
The guys that were both in the UFL were drafted by other teams in the NFL.
You talking about that guy who was on the Browns? Or
No, I don't know.
The guy Ad's talking about was on an NFL team.
you know
before.
what? Let's
Let's just read the answers.
Hey, before I tweet about this, before I tweet about this,
if Adam doesn't come a little bit more prepared on his UDFA fucking answers.
Well, your answer was the guy went from the NFL to the UFL to the Cowboys, which means he's been drafted.
He's already been drafted. You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to post my comments in the chat while we're going. so just
God, I hate being here with these two idiots.
God, these Neanderthals.
Let's see what these AI bastards have to say. Nick Harris. I was surprised to see Brevin Spanford's name still on the board when the draft concluded in April, as his run-blocking knacks and physical skill set seemed worthy of a draft selection. So I'd have to go with him. Fuck you, Nick Harris. We don't need another tight end.
It's true. We don't.
We don't need another tight end. Can you?
But hey,
can you boosh it over a little bit there?
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
Kurt Daniels. Ad, you want this guy?
I'm thinking the biggest UDFA impact will come from one of the new linebackers, which is what Abeth said.
You said.
Perfect.
Fuck you, boys. That's a position with a lot of question marks. Will DeMarvin and Overshown be ready? Question mark. How about rookie third round Maurice Leafau? Can Eric Kendricks, old man Kendricks, maintain his production at the age of 32? Fuck you. Given all that, rookies Jason Johnson, Byron Vaughns, and Brock Morgeson should have a great opportunity to show what they can do. Now, Vaughns may be more of an edge rusher, which there could be a logjam there, while Morgeson is making the jump from the FCS level. So Johnson may be the most prepared to step in right away. He was named.
That's it. You know, we don't need.
And don't forget the depth of the linebackers is a concern as well, not to mention the linebackers corps in general is expected to be something. In other words, these young UDFA linebackers find themselves in a great position to make a early impact.
Okay. All right.
Shouldn't have fucked me so hard.
Kyle Humans, recent UDFA success brings elevated UDF expectations, blah, 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 blah. That's the case with Bevan Spanford. So we got 2 for Bevan Spanford, which tight end. We're talking tight end here.
You know what?
I don't like it.
There is something about a weird-ass first name with a double last name, with a hyphenated last name.
Spanford. Spanny Ford.
Or like Amon St. I always say
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, there's something about it.
His name sounds like a finishing move in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Spanford?
No,
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I gave him the old Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And Nick, eat me out sideways, eat me.
He's always been known for that.
Who is it? Your go or mine?
This is one of the favorite parts of camp because there's always a player or two that emerge from obscurity, and you never know who it'll be. My answer would be a good problem to have for the Cowboys, who are getting eaten out sideways, who think they could get added value with a defensive tackle, Denzel Daxon, fake name, who qualifies for a roster exemption because he's in the International Pathway Program, being from the Bahamas. Well, you know what? Kind of like this guy already.
So we got 2 guys. We got 2 Brevin Spanford. Then you got Denzel Daxon, and then one of the
Brock. I'm going with Adam. I'm going to switch to Brock Morganson.
Yeah,
with
but
Adam.
this is a cop out answer by who gave us this? Kurt Daniels gave us the most Adam answer ever and named 4 dudes. He named 4 dudes.
It is true.
Hey.
Right? He just said one of the linebackers, really.
Okay, the player who I think is going to make the most of an impact this year on the Dallas Cowboys is going to be CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons or Rico Dowdle or...
Who's going to get signed first? Well, it's going to be Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb.
Shut up!
We're not making fun of you. I'm making fun of Kurt Daniels. Kurt Daniels...
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Got ya. You got him.
Okay,
I got you on a fucking sound blast, babe.
You know what? A fun thing to actually do leading up is, and we can do this within our own community, our own...
like your own X community that you're talking about?
Our own X community. I was going to say we do our own preparation, and we should look a little bit at these UDFAs and see if anyone comes to mind, and maybe we talk about them.
Well, I was studying... I studied them quite a bit, and my answer was actually Brevin Spanford.
Actually,
he just has that in him.
Well, look.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was going to say...
It's the first time I've read the guy's name.
I was going to say... So, well, at the very least, because we will figure this out today about training camp, we will have to be prepared for UDFAs for that.
Oh, yeah.
True. It's true.
Okay, well, hey... At the end
You
of the
say
day,
the word training camp and Bot G, that's the only time he comments. He just writes, can't wait.
Bot G, did you get your package we sent? I hope you did because I think it should be delivered by now.
And by the way, afterwards, let's I want to put an order in for those 2 new shirts that we got. The Crack 'em if you got 'em ones and the other CanFan one that we loaded up, but we haven't loaded it up yet. But
it's made. Yeah, we can.
yeah,
do that.
I want to get one of those. I want to get both of those.
Okay, well,
Shouldn't have fucked me so hard.
Shouldn't fuck me so hard. Final question. This is question 18. Is who will be the sleeper at the running back position? Well, I guess everyone can potentially be considered a sleeper because these are all new dudes. And I don't know. They have like some.
Why
sort
does he
of,
look like that?
What do they have? Like a midget posing. It looks like a child, and they got.
That's how I look when I'm fucking throwing out drills to the Pee-wee players.
That is not a great
practice.
picture of Deuce Vaughn. It really isn't.
No, he kind of looks like maybe
Toss me one, son.
like a comedy, like a Wayans Brothers comedy where they put a man's face on a kid's body and
When he's a little baby, is that what you're talking about?
Toss me one, son.
oh shit.
Biggest sleeper in the running back room. This is a tough. Can Rico Dowdle be considered a sleeper?
I think anyone because there is no who is the standout running back.
Okay, Rico Dowdle's my sleeper.
Okay, and I would agree with that, and I want to go with it, but I'm gonna hold back. Man, does Zeke count as a sleeper?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so.
I think Zeke has the most potential to be the best contributor. Because you look at his numbers from last year, and I do think that like obviously he's lost a step, but he was playing on that New England team last year that just was not a great team, and
they
still
sucked.
and if he puts up the numbers that he did with New England, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yep.
You know, it was only a 3.5 yard average.
But he had like 40 something catches.
Exactly, he added
Couple tugs.
so much through the air, and also. If that's where he is, he's either the best on the team, which is sad, or he's second best on the team, which is good.
Which I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Rico's kind of I actually wouldn't even mind if Rico and Zeke are kind of just like
Toe to toe.
a little toe to toe, and then give me a little midget boy there.
Sure.
You guys just named every single player on the team. Why is everybody?
I gave you mine. Rico Dowdle is my sleeper.
Zeke. I said Zeke. You could say either one of those.
I'm gonna say Deuce. I think Deuce is gonna be our sleeper.
You know,
Because I'm a very impressionable person, unfortunately or fortunately. I watched a breakdown video. I believe it was actually from J-Tuck.
What about how bad Deuce was last year, and for some reason it made you think he was the sleeper pick?
No, he breaks down and he was talking about like why he feels like Deuce Vaughn is going to have a solid season and how they drafted him to be the Tony Pollard replacement.
Give me what would you consider for Deuce Vaughn? What would be a successful season?
I mean, if Deuce Vaughn can get over 800 yards this season,
Oh my God, that would be a fucking.
that's a successful season.
That's more than a successful season. I think if he gets more than 400 yards, that's a successful
Which
season.
I feel like in terms of having that speedy down back, we don't really have that right now. Like you got Rico Dowdle and Zeke who are typically kind of in the same cloth in terms of the style of back. Maybe Rico is a little bit more of an explosive back versus Deke. Versus Deke. Deke. But we don't have that one fucking running back who can kind of have that burst and have those
Give me your Deuce Vaughn stat line this year. Give me your Deuce Vaughn stat line.
Do you want me to read you Vaughn's stats?
Let's
from
get it
last
from
year?
last year, just so you can curb your 800-yard expectation.
No.
I want us all to do,
Hey.
because we all picked our sleepers.
Deuce Vaughn.
Crack me if you got them. We all picked our sleepers. I want us to now say what we think our stat line for our
okay.
sleepers is going to be.
Well, we're going to start with Adam, and I'm just going to pull up from ESPN.com. If you don't know ESPN is a sports website, and they also do television.
So I'll read out Deuce's stats from last year. Carries 23, yards 40, average 1.7. Crack me if you got him. Reception 7, yards 40, average 5.7. And he had a long of 13 for rushing and long of 11 for passing. So let me tell you,
Let's double it for him.
looking at these stats, looking at these stats here, man, for him to have 800 yards, that wouldn't be that would be way higher than even
King Kong.
Yeah, it'd be King Kong season. But what are his stats? Give us your stat line for your boy.
Okay,
Ducey.
so we saw when we played Pollard and Zeke together, we saw both of them, or I guess, sorry, Pollard eclipsed 1,000 yards, but Zeke didn't. What was Zeke's? He was close to 1,000 yards. So we had two backs that almost kind of totaled or accumulated.
But that was also with your first and second down backs. So you think Deuce Vaughn's going to be your second running back?
I
over Zeke and over Rico Dowdle.
Well, you first asked, what do you think a successful season for Deuce Vaughn would be? And I'd be like, 800 yards
would be amazing.
Yeah. So having
if you got 400.
Well, I mean, if he had over 500 yards, that's a decent season for him. But I still think if you're looking at where we're at right now, I think Rico and Zeke are going to be the backs that are more in competition on who's going to get that kind of first run. Or like we're going to need that back for the speedy kind of plays or the all-purpose yards in terms of possibly putting what's his name, Deuce Vaughn in for some of the check down passes.
So what's your stat line for Deuce Vaughn?
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Hopefully more than 40 yards.
Hey,
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna average 4.8 yards.
Oh my God, you're a fucking maniac.
Running?
Yeah, I think
You're
he's
a
gonna,
maniac.
I think he's gonna average 4.8 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
I think he's gonna get.
Adds the forever optimist out of us. That's 100% sure.
Bandwagon Bob goes, not fair that Anthony's arguing about your pick.
I am arguing it. Look at his fucking stats right there. He might not even make the team this year.
No, he'll make the team. He'll make the team. He'll make the team specifically because
Is that
we don't.
Your stat? He'll make the team.
He'll make the team. That's what I said. Here's the thing: we don't have a speedy down back. We do not have that guy who has that.
Rico fucking DOWDLE.
Hey, 4.8. Okay, 4.8.
4.8
yards per
average.
Yeah. So what? How many yards is he getting?
One carry.
Yeah, one carry for 4.8 yards.
No. I think realistically, 650 yards is where we're going to see him.
Okay, so
Total.
I
Okay.
think that'd be a very successful season.
That would be very successful.
But I do think he's going to have more receiving yards than rushing yards.
So how many? Well, we need that then. So 700 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Wait,
I'd be stoked for it.
You think 650 rushing, 700 receiving? Dear Lord.
Yeah. I'm going for it.
Okay.
I'm going for it.
For the
Hey, I'm going for it.
Look, I hope you're right.
Hey,
I hope
I'm
you're
going
right
for
too.
it.
But we aren't Deuce Vaughn believers. We aren't.
No,
And
I know that.
I just have a very hard time believing that 4.8 yards per carry would be amazing for any running back. Especially, we didn't have even a running back close to that last season.
The season where we had
Look at that, Rico Dowdle. Look, okay, so just think of what
but the thing is, our running game was not solid last year.
I know, and what makes you think it's going to be solid this year?
Times have changed.
Oh, is it the two
The
rookie
Bruisers.
linemen?
yeah. Hey, different offensive line.
So to put
You know what? Sorry, what's funny is by Adam speaking that it spins the perspective of two rookie linemen on your team. You know what I mean? Like you're excited. Oh,
Listen,
but then it's
Cooper Beebe and Deuce Vaughn have played together.
Man, I'm going to go. So I got my guy, Rico Dowdle, and I think he's going to be the sleeper. But even if he gets if Rico Dowdle can have 920 yards for a 4-point average and 6 touchdowns, that would be huge for me.
Okay, what was Tony Pollard's yards from last year?
I don't even think he broke 1,000.
So
he did just
break 1,002 or something.
Yeah.
So
1,005 with a 4.0 average.
okay,
and only 6 tutties.
and we didn't think that Tony Pollard was having a good season at all. So what?
You're right. Technically 4.0 average. I'm happy with that. It's the lack of touchdowns though, and it was the lack of touchdowns, and we shouldn't shoulder it all on TP20's shoulders, but the running backs need to score more than whatever it was, 12 rushing touchdowns. They need 20.
The more we look at
group.
this and see stats, I think AJ's pick of Zeke being the sleeper might be the best pick with touchdowns as far as touchdowns.
Touchdowns?
Yes.
Touchdowns. Well, we talked about this before.
Touchdowns are junk.
No, we want touchdowns.
Look at Zeke in 2022. Like if he could do anything, if he could do something like that,
Well,
that's kind of Zeke's 2022 is kind of what I want Dowdle to do this year.
Yes, this is what Dowdle should do this year. Zeke should do what he did last year, but add on 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And if Adams do spots,
coming.
4.8. Hey man, I'll fucking.
Well,
that'll be mint if it happens. It's just
yeah.
all I'm saying. It's a bold prediction.
Okay.
even if he was good,
It's a bold. Even if he had a good season last year, that would have been a bold prediction. He had a 1.7 yard per carry. He couldn't even
Okay.
make it on the field last year.
So can you bring up Tony Pollard's stats one more time? Okay, go look at his 2019 stats.
Yeah, that's his first year. That's
Rookie.
his compare his rookie year compared to Deuce Vaughn's. His is fucking 5 times better.
I know.
Deuce Vaughn is not going to match Tony Pollard's rookie season in any of his stats, including touchdowns, and he only got 2.
And actually, you look at his 2019 and 2020. They probably definitely 2019. They probably should have gave TP20 the ball more.
Totally.
And 2021.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, they slept on him first way
too long until he broke his leg and then made him the starter.
Right?
Yeah. So
You got to do what you got to do.
all I'm saying is that I think the Cowboys have mismanaged the run game for a few years. And I think 2022, we saw like a good kind of like coexistation. Sounds like
I like the definition. I'm going with it.
coalestation.
Did he just coalestate us?
Okay.
That was coalescated.
Sorry, one more thing. What was Rico Dowdle's 2022 stats?
He was hurt.
No.
Sorry, the Malik Davis's. Like, who was our RB3? I guess you could say it was like Malik Davis then.
Yep. In 2022 he was.
I'll get to it.
And yeah, Davis had a decent
He did.
2022.
Davis is another guy who I would like to see. Here's Davis right there, 2022. So 12 games played, 38 carries, 161 yards, 4.2 yards average, and only 1 touchdown.
And that was basically one game. Like most of it was out of one game.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is my thesis off Deuce Vaughn isn't changing where I don't think he's an NFL running back.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's my main thing. Not that I'm not attacking your pick. I'm just attacking it as that I don't know if Deuce Vaughn.
Mom would disagree that you're attacking my pick.
Well, because I think we have not liked the Deuce Vaughn pick from day one. Why would I automatically change that when the dude had a 1.7 yard per carry? And when you say 4.8, that's a big jump. I think if you would have said 3.8, that would be a big jump.
Well, if we
a big jump based on last year's numbers, which I don't think, based on the stuff that's laid out in front of me in terms of what our run game was last season, we can't really look at that. You have a brand new offensive coordinator. They're fucking doesn't even know how to tie his shoes.
last year,
for last year, our run game was absolutely despicable. Surprised that fucking TP20 had over 1,000 yards. I think Deuce Vaughn's going to have a solid all-purpose yards number, specifically if he's kind of getting some wide receiver rotational routes in there.
But doesn't that make you nervous though? That they're even putting him in reps? They're trying to find a spot for him because they're kind of saying, "Oh, maybe he's not a running back."
Well, I just think that if they're looking at getting him into some more wide receiver plays to try to shake things up a little bit, I don't think he's going to actually be an actual wide receiver core. He'll be a running back who will take some wide receiver option plays, I think, in terms of what I feel like they're doing. But ultimately, if they didn't draft a fucking running back, he's going to get more snaps regardless. Deuce Vaughn's going to be our RB2 or our RB3.
What about
Royce?
Royce the
5'9".
joystick Freeman.
That's actually
Royce
I'm
the 5'9".
I thought Ad was gonna go with Royce.
No.
That's the thing is
Royce.
I think Royce has a better chance of making this football team than Deuce Vaughn, and the reason is,
Have you never heard of nepotism?
well, here's the thing: we're talking about amount of players who can be on an Anth. I didn't laugh because I don't know what nepotism means. Okay,
It means that he's short.
oh, well, it is true.
Napoleonism?
The battle in the backfield, it really, for me, it comes down to, well, how many players can we sign 53 or keep on a roster 53? Unless we get Deuce Vaughn to go and become a Mexican citizen and then sign him as our international player, it gets really taut. It gets really tight because if you're thinking about who can run out the backfield, you have to sign Turpin. Turpin has almost the exact same skill set as what Deuce Vaughn offers, and has a couple more years and is more of a proven, and he can play in the NFL. I'm not saying that he is equivalent to what Deuce Vaughn can do in a vacuum, but he definitely has the same skill set. So you could, if you're looking for that skilled player, I would be more inclined to say, well, I'll just run Turpin in the backfield on a couple plays and have him be that guy who
And save a position.
and save a position, because I don't think the Cowboys are going to run more than 3 running backs.
I will
They
say
haven't previously, and I don't see them.
I will say that it was exciting in the actually one of the guys I'm excited to watch in the preseason, Trey Lance, obviously, but Deuce Vaughn. I am excited to see Deuce Vaughn because when we were watching the preseason games and he had big runs, it was exciting. And if he could get that into the regular season and maybe, 23 carries, 23 carries in your rookie season as a 6th round running back isn't enough to bank a whole career off of. Like Ad said, he is going to get more carries. If Ad would have just said a 4-point yard a carry or even like a 3.5, and then the 500 or what do you say, 700 yards?
I said 650. 650 yards is where I think he's gonna land.
Which would have made more sense to me than like a 4.8 yards per carry is fucking really good.
I could also see 650 total yards, including his receiving yards.
That's a little less, I think, than what I think he's gonna do.
Ad's got 1,400 total. Ad's got 1,400, which would be sweet.
It would be sweet. He would be ranked among probably the top if he did. If he did a combined 650, that he's in the top 25 running backs in the NFL.
I have to say to Ad too, if we were all actually picking sleepers, Ad picked the biggest sleeper.
He did. Absolutely.
And then just blew his stats to the moon. So I'm excited to see it. But guys, we will be back Wednesday night for the main event. And you know what? We got a special guest coming on Wednesday night, so you guys better come check it out because we got
so special. I don't even know who it is.
I don't tell anyone until it's they're on.
We don't get to know.
You guys don't get to know. You guys don't get to mess this up. All right. Thanks for stopping by. We will be back Wednesday night.
And if you know, if there's a stupid Eagles fan in front of you in a lineup when you're getting your coffee tomorrow morning on Canada Day, you tell that Eagles fan to go fuck themselves.
Boost it. You boost that Eagles fan.